What's up, everybody? This is another episode of No Instructions. I'm Alex.
And I'm Michael.
And today is a very special day. We have a special guest, MOYY. MOYY's a really good friend of ours, and so we're happy to have him on the show. You have anything to say to the people before we start?
Also an upcoming artist, working on some music. So
Can't forget that.
my name is MOYY, but we'll definitely leave a link below so you guys can check out my music at some point for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We'll put it right here below. We also have it at the end of the video, so if you guys lose track of it for some reason, you can always find it up. So we're gonna start with some questions for MOYY. Since he is, very passionate about music, we want to get into that with him. So we'll start with the first question for you. How'd you get into this passion, or the music, pretty much?
So I would honestly have to say that my brother got started in music before me. He's 10 years older. Growing up, he always had friends over at the house. I was never really able to be in the room while the recording was happening, but I got to listen to a lot of it. So that kind of sparked my interest. And as time went by, I started doing my own research on it, and then just slowly the passion grew from there.
So you pretty much, your brother was the one that pretty much influenced you. So how long have you been doing that? Do you remember, how long ago that was when you started that? And
I think so. My brother originally tried to write a little song for me at 12 years old. Then at 16 years old, I think is when I officially started to try to just learn everything I could on my own.
Yeah, for sure. And then how'd you, did you start using, his kind of stuff when you started getting it by yourself, or did you just purchase stuff on your own kind of thing?
I mean, everything was found on my own, but originally the sounds, I guess, was what I would hear from coming out of my brother's room. The first stuff that kind of interested me was like hip-hop, rap stuff. So I would listen to a lot of that. Tried to cater to that originally when it came down to looking for beats, and it kind of just grew from there to where I just spawned into wanting to learn more about it.
And what is pretty much your style? So what would you say is your style of music?
I don't think I have a set style. I think I do have 3 artists that I look for, that I take a piece of kind of everything of what I would think they represent.
Mm-hmm.
Drake is one, obviously, for the catchy singles
Of
that come out, and so everything that people would sing along to. The first person that kind of sparked my interest from hearing music was Baby Bash. And from his interviews that I've seen in the past was I kind of let the music speak to me. If it's a hip-hop vibe, if it's a club vibe, then I'm going to cater to that. If it's a love song, then I'm going to cater to that. And so he pretty much says that the music tells him what to say.
Right.
And then Eminem would be my third artist, and what I take away from him is that he steps into a character many times for a lot of his music. So a lot of people think that any artist, all the music that they put out has to be completely about them, or is that how you feel? Is that what's going through your life?
Right.
And blah, blah, blah. But it's not always the case. It's literally just trying to be an artist, such as Eminem, who just says, hey, this is the topic I'm going to talk about. I'm going to play this role of this certain character, and then go forward from there as painting the picture to what people are going to see.
Before we continue, I need to know what your favorite Baby Bash song is, because that's an interesting choice. Like, I've never heard anybody be like, yo, Baby Bash.
Well, another thing is that he's from Vallejo.
Oh,
I was born and raised here in Napa, and he's
I didn't
not
know
from
that
here.
shit. I did not know that shit. So I was like, yo, Baby Bash? Like,
But again, my brother introduced me to him when I was younger.
For sure.
He's from Vallejo, but then Texas, I think, is where he blew up with SPM helping him out. But that being so close is one thing, but just all the music that he puts out, I think I have so many songs that I like when he was underground, Baby Beesh, before his name was Baby Bash.
Holy
and then,
shit, bro, you're like a true fan. I did not know any of this shit.
Yeah, that's why.
Dude, that's dope.
But
that's dope, though. That's dope, yeah.
When Sugar Sugar came out, How You Get So Fly, that's the one that pretty much put him
On the
bigger.
map, bro.
On the
Any girl on Instagram, you
at
ask
least
her
the
that
radio.
shit, they'll fucking know that. So they'll fucking know that song, yep.
Yeah.
That's interesting, though. I didn't expect that, so that's fucking...
But I've just followed him ever since that, beforehand, and everything else that he's put out now.
Yeah. So, like, so who was an artist that you would, like to do music? If you had an opportunity, someone came up to you, like, bro, you have this chance to do a record with any artist, who would you really want to have that record with?
At this point in my life, because I've obviously haven't gotten to the level where I can reach out to any artists and hope that they would say yes.
Yeah.
right now it'd be pretty much anybody who has the same passion, I think, for music as I do. So
Right.
if they all are already putting out their own music that I feel is good to the ear to listen to, then I'm gonna probably want to work with them also, because we know that at the end of the day, good music is gonna be put out.
But let's say just hypothetically, if someone called you up, like, who would you want to be on that phone to be like, yo, we need you on a verse? Whether that be Drake, whether that be Baby Bash.
Well, I can easily say Drake.
Drake?
I can easily say Baby Bash.
Who would you think would put you on the map? Like, say, like, let's move away from
any of them would put me
on
on
the map.
Yeah.
But who do you
I think
think would
any of
like
them.
shoot it faster, right? So like, say if Baby Bash put you on, like right now, Baby Bash isn't so hot. But if Drake put you on, that would be a completely different story, right?
Your shit would be blowing up.
Well, media-wise,
Yeah.
to some extent.
So would you feel?
But knowing the following that I know Baby Bash has, it's still another
Same
audience
thing?
that.
But would you
same
be
thing.
ready for that? Like, if say like you just popped up overnight. And
Yeah, I would say I'm ready for it. Just because I've wanted it for so long that
Yeah.
I've prepped myself to where I know that I'm at a stage where I'm not gonna let it take it too big. Me not get too big headed.
Yeah.
Right.
Where some cases, if you break into the industry or stuff like that really young, then sometimes it goes the wrong way.
Yeah.
We're also in the wine industry, so we've been working in the wine industry. I've been in there for actually 6 years. How long have you been working in the industry?
Industry, when it comes to talking about Napa industry, forever. I was born and raised in Napa, so hospitality mainly, but that specific winery that I've been working at for about 3.5 years now.
3.5 years, yeah, man. So, how do you like it working there, man? What do you think?
I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think coming from restaurant work before, it's similar feel to what you would be a server at a restaurant, only I like that you deal with less dishes. You don't walk into a kitchen where chefs are yelling out their ass to everybody. And so I like the transition where you're still able to network and talk to a lot of people, which is probably the biggest thing that I enjoy is talking to people.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty funny, like from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we can post a picture of it, but you know when Cam Newton wears the like Kentucky Derby hats, just seeing those like stupid ass like people who think it's like, oh, I gotta wear this wine hat to go out. Like, it's cloudy. What the fuck are you doing? Like, it's the low
doing their sundresses and like 60-degree weather
Like,
outside.
have you
But
guys
see,
seen?
I think there's so many people that think of that when they think of Napa.
Yeah.
And so I think anywhere you live, when you're a local somewhere, it's like it's part of.
But I'm pretty sure these people aren't locals.
community.
Like they see,
No,
like,
yeah, I know.
they see like that Netflix movie,
Yeah.
right? And then they see like just this image, like, oh, I have to wear this to Napa. Like, do you guys have any like funny situation? Like, probably funnier than that. I just think it was funny from an outsider's perspective. But like actually being in the industry,
Like crazy encounter.
like any celebrity. I know you saw the Bella Twins, but like anything like crazy, stupid, something like that.
Cool. I mean, I can think of one recently, like, it's probably happened a couple before this whole, like, last year, I think it was. I was actually hosting, so we could drop into it. I was hosting these girls, bachelorettes, and I was kind of just pouring them the first drink, and so I had to move on to do a tour after that, and so one of my coworkers took over for me. And so these girls were already intoxicated. This is probably like their fourth winery at this point. And so I was doing, my other section of it, and then I look back and I see everybody tilting their heads at this girl, and she literally, bro, I kid you not, she was yakking, bro. She yacked on her hands, and it was just walking from like at the main of the bar, man. It was so crazy, and it was gross. I was like, dude, I was about to host them, and I looked at my coworker that took over for him. I'm like, bro, how was that? He's like, fuck you. And he's like, screw you, fuck you, man. Like, you were so lucky.
Oh, because the yakking happened after you stopped posting.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And so pretty much
after somebody else took over.
Yeah, so it's hilarious, man. That's probably the one I can think of recently that happened. That's crazy intense.
And it obviously wasn't me.
Dude, I can think of so many, man. But
Did you have anything?
Well, I think the winery that we work at, there's always stuff going on. For one, we work at a winery where there's great views on a mountaintop, so people always want to come visit. There's these certain water fountains where we've had many people fall in.
Yeah.
I almost fucking fell in.
Either before walking into the winery or after leaving, but We know why.
It's because it's funny because people always want to look like what's underneath. They think it's like 5 feet deep when it's only like probably less than 2 feet. Not even.
No, yeah,
1 feet. Like, it's so low. It just dyed black, so people fall over. And like when we have events, it's the same thing, man. And people, oh man, people want to climb up on the side of the winery and stuff. It's just funny shit that happens.
Pretty much adults want to be 10 years old again.
Right.
Yeah.
At this winery.
But sometimes they do bring their 10-year-olds, and that's some other shit, too.
Dude, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Being as a guest there, I've just seen stupid, ridiculous situations. Like people arguing for the viewpoint when they're not allowed or whatever the fucking policy you guys have for that viewpoint.
Yep.
That's crazy. But
yeah. Funny.
That's pretty much, what we did in the wine industry, what we know right now. But we also went to Barcelona together, too.
And checked out their sister location or whatever you want to call it. Have the best experience of their lives.
Yeah, man. So
I'm sure they would agree with that.
Well, as Alex mentioned, we are owned by a Spanish
winery.
We are owned by a Spanish winery. Part of the reason we went to Barcelona was to visit the sister winery.
And also for vacation, too, man. It was actually our first time in Barcelona, if you want to say in general Europe. It's probably the first country we visit there. So we have plenty more to go to, but man, what do you guys think of the trip to Barcelona personally, individually?
Absolutely loved the culture.
Yeah.
110%.
Do the work during whatever, like the beginning, and then you take the break from, what was it, like 2 to like when they siestas? Like, just like when that shit shuts down, and we're trying to go get beer and like booze and everything's fucking closed.
Yeah.
And then like the whole town just comes back to life after like 6.
Pretty much, yeah. Nighttime is pretty much when everybody's out.
I just love how everything's walkable too. Like the taxis are cool and all, but even the taxis when you get in are like, you should probably just walk. Like pretty sick.
It was a big culture shock too, because coming from the United States where you have to drive everywhere and then we're always on our phones. It's a different culture where you go there that like people don't really use their phones that much. I think that's one thing that kind of really shocked me, and I felt kind of uncomfortable sometimes pulling out my phone. Yeah. I was like getting up food and stuff because like literally we'd be sitting next to each other, and then you hear people talking, and then us are just like, but to take our phone and take a picture of the food, for the whole world, I think that's one of the big things that kind of shocked me about Barcelona. Also the traffic. What do you guys think of the traffic? Because I
thought it was less than the Bay Area, but they were complaining like it was like crazy. Supposedly they had. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but one of the taxi drivers told us they had the most cars on the road in the whole world. Yeah. And to me, it didn't seem like that because it just seemed like everywhere was quick. Like other than going to like the Barcelona game, that's when I felt the traffic like crazy. Yeah. But before that, like I felt like we got to everywhere pretty reasonable.
But I don't think we felt true congestion until.
And we were on the mopeds, so
that's the thing. That's where I felt
the mopeds like. Shit, that shit was crazy. That was a good time.
The night we rent them.
Except for the beginning. The beginning was horrible.
Number one, I take away the culture shock that you mentioned was the phone situation. Yeah. Everybody over there is more living in the moment, ready to talk to you, ready to be more. Pretty much in your face.
Sometimes you don't even know what to say. I mean, like for me, like I was like shit. Like
I just felt judged for the Spanish we used. Like for whatever reason, they didn't fuck with whatever Spanish we used just because we were Mexican.
Well, they're so close to Catalan that I know a lot of them were also speaking Catalonian language, which is completely different. It's like
which they consider the original, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But still no reason to be a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a good time, guys. I mean, if you guys have never been to Barcelona, I definitely recommend it. I mean, I think it's a good country to visit for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Always,
you want to rent a moped.
Yeah, if you really want to experience Barcelona,
you better have good phone service.
Oh, my God, that shit was scary. The scariest thing
and make sure you get your traveler's license.
Yeah, traveler's license, because, we didn't have that.
Multa.
But we were just... But yeah, man, it's a good time. Do you guys, have another country you want to visit? Since Barcelona was the first. Well, we didn't visit all of Spain, but where would you want to go for your next trip after Barcelona?
Definitely France, Italy, Germany.
Yeah.
And Brazil. Just when you get into the scope of like Europe trips, again, that was our first trip, so there's still so much to explore.
Yeah. I think for me personally, I do want to do Italy, which is something I know we all have in common. And I wanted to do Japan for the Olympics, actually. But now with all this disease going around, it's kind of not going to happen. But I'd still be down to visit Japan just because I heard the nightlife there is incredible. And so other than Italy and Japan, I do want to do Germany as well. Brazil, of course. I actually have a buddy in Brazil who'd be down to host if we're interested in that.
Yeah, I'm always
so
down.
We could save some cash on that.
Always.
So, yeah, for sure. And then I know in the States, like Hawaii, I've never been to Hawaii, so that's why.
For me, I think mine would have to say Egypt. I've always, been interested in the history. Egypt probably be mine. Second one, again, Japan would probably be the one next. The third one, I would say Italy. I mean, I at least want to spend. We've been talking about this whole time doing an Italy trip, but definitely a month for that.
I think when we think about it, we know that we were super close to so many other places, and I think before I went over there, people that I talked to, everybody said trains are super reliable, go wherever we want. Yeah. We figured that out. Late. I think we were still kind of soaking in where we were at to begin with, which I still enjoyed.
That's why I want to take my time with Italy, because it's such a big country with a lot of culture, different history, and like I said, I feel like you need to spend more time out there to fully experience that. I've been hearing a lot of people tell me that. So, and I like the the old Greek history, Roman history. So definitely.
If we can convince, I know you're watching this too, you fuck. If we can convince my buddy Mark to come with us, he studied a semester in Italy, and he had like a host family, so he has like all the ins and outs of Italy, and he's like obsessed with wine. Like I didn't know you guys when he came out to visit me at the time, but like I took him to Mondavie where my uncle works, and he loved it. So I know once he comes back, taking them to your guys' winery would be crazy for him at least. And like he just loves wine, so like Italy he loves. So like if we can go with him, like I know it'd be a great trip for sure.
Yeah. So we'll see what the future holds for that, because definitely in my list to travel. So when this is all over, this quarantine stuff is
don't know when.
Hopefully, we just got pushed back to what, May 1st?
Yeah, some shit like that. May 3rd actually. So I have to go back. I have to go back to the office May 4th if they don't push it.
Yeah.
But they were just talking about
How are you guys taking it? Well, how do you guys feel about quarantine? Do you think it's gonna last longer, or how is your process with the dealing with it? Why?
I mean, everybody I think deals with it a different way. I feel I've been trying to just take it as a day off from work pretty much, and try to stay cool and in that state. But obviously, eventually, too many days being cooped up, and you forget all the stuff you were doing beforehand, all the activities, that it gets tough.
Do you feel like, because I've seen a lot of people right now trying to say, put these motivational stuff all over the internet, like, this is the time for you to work on your stuff, whatever, your dream, do you feel that way during this time? Like, for me personally, honestly, I'm not going to lie to anybody, I have not felt that motivated, like, to, go out and do stuff like that. I feel like very stagnant, like very,
I think I agree with that. Again, being cooped up. Yeah. It's like it takes you out of your normal routine and your activities to go out, because now you're second guessing, if I go out, does that jeopardize my health?
Yeah.
I know for me personally, like I feel like I was just hitting my stride with like consistently going to the gym, consistently working out, like consistently work, gym, home, work, gym, home, grocery store, shit like that. And then now you introduce COVID, and now it's like, fuck, I'm just like sitting here, like I've written like all my creative thing I had, I've written it, I've thought about it, I've planned it. Now it's like I have no new experience. Like what experience am I gonna take away from being at home? Yeah. Whereas I'm opposed to like going to work, going to the gym, going like experiencing the world. Now I'm stuck to a place for 24 hours,
multiple days a week.
Right. So the only thing I'm gonna get is, wow, I hate my life, right? Because you're just stuck at home, which I know it sucks to hear, but like when you see the same people every day, even if it's family, it's like you get tired, it gets old. It doesn't translate. I don't know.
Yeah, you feel like
you're trapped,
progressing. Yeah. Like because for me that's how I work. Like if I'm not moving or like doing something, and it's hard for me to get in that mode to like do something. Like I have to have something around me influence that. But
new experiences dictate like a fresh experience. Like we're not just living a simulation. Like we're not a fucking sim.
So. That kind of reminds you, like, we kind of need that social, because for me, I'm kind of introverted a little bit, so, like, I like to, like, have my own space for a bit. I don't want to be surrounded by people too much. But now I have too much space. I'm like losing my freaking mind. I'm like, I need to interact, talk to different people. So yeah, so it's crazy times, man. So all right, guys, we're going to be introducing a new segment to the podcast. This one for tonight, for this episode, we're gonna do a segment called Top 5. So pretty much what that means is top 5 artists that you're listening to right now, or your favorite ones right now. We're gonna go ahead and start off with Moy. What are the top 5 artists? And please, I might judge you.
Well, earlier in part of the interview, I had mentioned Drake first. Top 3 artists in English, and then I have 2 Spanish reggaeton songs that I also listen to that I think influenced me a lot when it comes to making music. So, number 1, I would say Baby Bash.
Sorry, pause real quick. And all right, 3.
Go back to
2,
number 1.
1, boom.
So number 1, I would say Baby Bash. For that reason is I was born and raised here in Napa, 707. He is from Vallejo, which is really close by, about 15-20 minutes from here. I know the area really well, but from what I took away from what his past interviews has been is that he lets the music speak to him. If the beat is slow, if it's a love song, he's going to cater to trying to write a love song. It's a club song, then he's going to cater to that crowd that obviously wants to turn up in the club. So I took that away early on when I was listening to a lot of his music. After that, I would say Eminem.
Yeah.
Eminem, as far as rap, my number 1 hardcore rap artist since I was really young. I remember buying the Encore album actually in Mexico because I was just in December visiting with my parents in Mexico, and they had this fair time going on in December, and I happened to buy the album and just was freaking loving it.
Basically, Moy saying fuck Nick Cannon. So
after that, I would say number 3 would be Drake. Obviously, everybody knows who Drake is right now, and the biggest thing I take away from him is having the catchy singles, those songs that everybody sings along to, the choruses and everything else that people are gonna pretty much play on the radio.
Fair.
And so obviously, I think every artist's goal to when they break into the industry is to eventually get on the radio because that's what's gonna get you paid. So if everybody's listening to you, then you're gonna want to make a song to where everybody's listening to you. Yeah. And so on the Spanish side, reggaeton, top 2, number 1 would be Daddy Yankee. Yeah. Daddy Yankee is the Eminem of rap, the Drake of hip-hop R&B, what it is right now, and just number 1 in reggaeton. Yeah. Since before any of the 2 I mentioned. Pretty much, yeah. But him, number 1, just again making all the catchy stuff, pretty much puts out every tune that everybody's going to be listening to because the whole radio supports him, and every Spanish outlet also gets him for interviews and stuff, and always gets down with Daddy Yankee. Number 2 right now, not even up and coming anymore. Everybody knows who Bad Bunny is. I'm definitely a big Bad Bunny fan. Bad Bunny. And I have a few friends in the past who have mentioned that I have put songs out that sound similar to Bad Bunny even before Bad Bunny came out, before I knew him, obviously. But it's just great to know that the Latino trap scene, as far as what he's put out, it's rising. I've never been a big person into trap as big as it's gotten now, but it opens doors for a lot of people, and I love listening to it to where now I can think about maybe trying to put something out on that side of things too.
Sure. Nice, bro.
So just to make it clear for everyone out there, Moy has number 1, Baby Bash.
Number 1.
Number 2 Eminem. Number 3, Drake. Number 4, Daddy Yankee. Number 5, Bad Bunny. Put that out there clear as day.
Damn.
Let us know what you think about
it. Which on the reggaeton side pretty much puts Daddy Yankee as number 1.
The reggaeton side, but overall that...
And then Bad Bunny top. Number 2.
Right.
So what do you guys think?
Let us know what you think about that for you artists out there. Let us know what you think. Going on to my top 5 personally, I would say the greatest. I'm not an expert. I don't listen
I think I already know this one.
I don't listen to rap that crazy, but I'm talking about artists. I'm talking about artists, not rappers. I'm talking about artist number one. I go John Bellion. He'd be my number one. A lot of people don't know him, but he's fucking a musical genius. Number two, I would go with honestly, I'd go with the Chainsmokers. I just love the Chainsmokers. I know anybody knows the Chainsmokers song, so that's where I would go. Number two. Number three, I would go with my boy Quincy. He's not known, but for me personally, I feel like he puts out a lot for the genre, for the label.
What genre is that?
His genre is basically kind of like pop alternative, I would say. That might be terribly wrong with that, but I know he has a couple bangers that a lot of people don't know about. Number four, I would definitely go with Louis the Child. Louis the Child's 2019 albums, 2020, they're coming up. They're gonna keep coming up. They're gonna be tremendous. And number five, I'm gonna go with my boy Moy. If you check out his link below, his music is up and coming. He talks about real stuff. We're talking about his childhood. We're talking about bangers. You name it, diversify it. Moy's got it.
If you want to seduce a woman,
boom, boom, boom.
A little bit of everything.
He will.
For every environment.
Boom, boom, boom. We gonna redefine the golden arches in Mac Moy. All right, Ocho, you up?
All right, man. My top. Okay, so I've been listening to a lot of house music right now. So Fisher, number one. That's probably what I've been listening to right now. I just discovered.
You just made a bunch of Asian girls wet themselves.
I'm just saying, I love good house music, good bangers. The second one is probably a new artist I found out was Mala. He's pretty cool as well. He actually played in Ultra last year.
DJ?
So, yeah, he was a DJ out there, so he's pretty good if he's out there in Ultra. Third one, I would say more on the alternative side, Milky Chance. Like that's such an underrated band or group, I should say, just because they. From what I listen to, what I like to enjoy, they have not produced a bad song.
I missed them at Bottle Rock.
Yeah, they were about to go to Bottle Rock too. But
they were going to be at Bottle Rock?
Yeah.
So they're going to be later on.
I don't know.
Like
hopefully.
Once they reopen.
Hopefully, because that's the reason why I would go to Bottle
right
Rock.
Yeah, it's October.
Yeah, so that'll be Milky Chance. Has every mood to fit. Number four, I'm going to just butcher it right now just because, you know. Another house artist that I listen to, or just kidding, I'm not listening to. Mac Miller is always one I enjoy listening to. And usually at night, chilling, you just want to like midnight, whatever, how long. I'm a night guy person, so chill in your room, just hit some good Mac Miller. Yeah. And for number five, I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to switch from my number one to number five. So Fisher down to number five. Number one is Moy. You know,
what?
Number one, boy, not number five, number one.
He's lying to you. He's lying to you.
I've been listening to some of the music, dog.
Trying to gas me up.
They put some music for you guys to listen to. But boy, of course, man, I want to see you do more, man. I want to see you. You know,
Let's get it.
What you produce and it does.
You might make some music for us at the podcast.
I need everybody here to listen to the music.
Yeah.
He's got the skills for it, so I know he can produce more. So I want.
So then after being on top five, maybe I'll move to number 3 and 2.
I'm giving you my honest. I'm putting you at 5 right now just because I know you got the potential. Alex is lying to you right now.
I want to move you. I want to motivate.
Well, I don't even see myself on the scale of everybody else yet until I'm able to have conversations on those topics.
All right, guys. So what?
Alrighty.
Top 5. If you guys want to judge one of our
comment below.
Comment below.
DM us. Let us know anything.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in next time. Peace.
I'm that boy you can call on the regular. You need a real one, hit me on my cellular. And we go downtown, go see a movie, go to some concerts, maybe smoke a doobie.